ASEAN is considering a review of its 5-point consensus as well as a long-term special envoy position to oversee the situation in Myanmar. The Philippines currently serves as the ASEAN chair after assuming this year's chairmanship from Malaysia. The Philippines Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Teresa Lazaro, explains that several member states raised the idea during the ASEAN Foreign Ministers Retreat in Cebu.
It has been decided by the ASEAN foreign ministers during our retreat in Cebu that the 5-point consensus will remain dominant and will continue to be the foundational document in our relations in Myanmar. However, recalibration has been mentioned by a number of ASEAN member states during the retreat in Cebu. And to a certain extent, I think there should be some kind of a review of the 5-point consensus. But it really depends. You know how ASEAN works. It's always by consensus. But there has already been an indication of some ASEAN member states for a possible recalibration in ASEAN's relations with Myanmar.
The Philippines believes that ASEAN should appoint a long-term special envoy replacing the current system in which the rotating ASEAN chair appoints a different envoy each year, as she stressed the need for institutional continuity to help Myanmar overcome its crises.
I think what is the position right now is for Myanmar to be able to handle this crisis and to come up with a position whereby to overcome this crisis, and it will be Myanmar-led and Myanmar-owned. However, it is also it's ASEAN's position to make sure that Myanmar will overcome this crisis in the way that we have been discussing among the foreign ministers of ASEAN member states along the lines of the 5-point consensus.
As a special envoy of the ASEAN chair to Myanmar, Lazaro said she has engaged both Myanmar's military leadership and other stakeholders in line with the consensus, including traveling to Naypyidaw to meet senior officials and convening discussions with stakeholders in the Philippines. Despite this, Myanmar still has 2 matters on which to focus, which also remain central to ASEAN's engagement.
The 2 things that Myanmar should really react to, one is the cessation of hostilities, and the second one is the humanitarian aid. The humanitarian aid should be able to reach the areas that have not really benefited from the provisions that has been given by the international community, particularly the ASEAN.
Above all, she emphasizes that the 5-point consensus should be used as a foundational document to strengthen ASEAN's relations with Myanmar. On the border tensions between Thailand and Cambodia, she stressed that the matter remains bilateral. Still, the ASEAN Observer Team under the Philippines chairmanship will monitor the ceasefire closely, stating that they are prepared to take on what it calls an important responsibility.